Hello, Farm of Life family.
G'day everybody, how we doing?
Hi family.
Here we have, you remember, anybody who follows our YouTube channel, this guy we have videoed before. It was a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
you were here 2 years ago.
Yep.
2 years.
So he came here 2 years ago and he had some deep healings, and we'll discuss about, where he's gone, how far he's come from that experience. And now he's just spent another 3 weeks on the farm, and you've got quite a journey coming up.
Yeah.
And man, he went down the rabbit hole quite a bit, and grew even more while he was here. So let's talk about your first experience a little bit. So the first experience 2 years ago that you were here, we've gotten into some amazing conversations, right? A lot of our conversations were regarding forgiveness. A lot of your emotions were anger towards your dad, right? What's happened there?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I was looking for a place, just to heal and kind of relax and get over some illness and stuff like that. But when I came here, it was so much more than just getting over the cancer treatment that I had. I started realizing that I had a lot of work to do all around the heart area. Forgiveness was the big one, and it was all around my father. And we, beforehand, we kind of started getting to know each other. But then when I went away, that's when I really decided I wanted to start this relationship again. So I moved back home, and I moved in with Dad. He was in Adelaide, and decided, I want to see where this relationship is going to go.
That's awesome.
So I've been living with him for the last 2 years, and
wow,
it's probably the greatest thing I've ever done in my whole life. Yeah. Me and him, it's interesting when you get to know him more. I got to know myself more, and why I do things what I do, and now our bond is something that I've never really experienced before. A father-son bond, which is really exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Mirrors in all things, right? Like at first you're so angry with your dad, and then you realize, oh, my dad's a part of me and I'm a part of him, and we can grow together and learn.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a huge healing experience for both of us over the last couple of years, and he's healed a lot on some things that he's been dealing with, and same with me. And it's phenomenal what forgiveness can actually do.
Can heal cancer.
Yeah.
Good.
definitely not getting that again. That's for sure.
Right. That's right.
And even like my sisters and my mum, they've all gone through their own little kind of healing. And I just got an email from my old man the other day, and he said that he met up with my younger sister Ali, and it's the first time they saw each other for 9 years. So that was really cool to hear. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
What's your dad's name?
Michael.
Michael. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good job. Would love to see you on the farm someday. I hope you're out here.
Yeah,
maybe the third time. Maybe Andrew's third experience. It could be your first.
That's I talked about it a lot, and he's definitely keen to come here.
Love to meet you, man.
What I think is beautiful is the snowball effect that went with your family. Like, you started the forgiveness trend, and when you shift that energy, I mean, it's between you and your dad, but it radiates, and then it's picked up with other members.
Yeah, for sure. You see it everywhere. And hats off to Dad. He had a lot of patience. It was all me. It was all me holding on to that anger and not wanting to listen to him, not really wanting to want his love that he has for his children. And now I started to realize how much he actually loves us so genuinely that I could see that now, and I could let go of all that anger, and it's beautiful.
Yep.
Well done.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so you came here, and I know when you came here, you wanted to share that huge breakthrough with us.
Yeah.
Well, then there was some more, right? Life's a process. And so you came to do some, some tribal ceremonial work, and then of course everything that we do here on the farm, there's been a lot more growth. And specifically, let's discuss, you did 2 pretty deep tribal ceremonies. The first tribal ceremony, talk to us a little bit about that. What did you learn there?
Yeah, so coming here, I'm planning out like a 3-month trip, just to kind of separate a new phase of life. I'm moving to a new city when I get home, got a new job and all that, so I wanted to kind of really learn about myself a little bit more, and I learned a lot in the last 3 weeks.
Actually, before we talk about the tribal ceremonies, let's talk about before both tribal ceremonies. This guy comes to see me, so he's here 3 weeks, and I can tell, like, we're in the middle of nowhere, and, you know, he's a younger guy, and there's a different energy on the farm, some older people, you know. He comes, just, Brian, I gotta talk to you. I don't think I need this. I'm good. You know, I'm gonna go to the United States and hang out with some friends.
Yep.
And then what came out about that conversation?
Yeah, the first week I'm just sitting there going like this, going, oh geez, what am I doing? And
it's up in his head.
Yeah, it's all coming to me. I didn't realize how much the last 2 years kind of really caught up on me. But yeah, came to Brian. I was like, oh, look, Brian, I'm gonna skip, you know, Friday night the tribal ceremony, and you know, probably gonna leave a little early. It's okay, like I'll move on. And then Brian goes, what the hell? He's like, why? You know, you're supposed to be here. And he's like, the ego is the one that's changing your mind. Like, you can do it, but you know, you can stay here and you can learn a lot. And
the big lesson was that stillness, right?
Yeah, and he got to me, like the words that he used was just like straight into me. And then
you're never alone.
Yeah, cried it out and gave me a big hug, and that's when I was like, yep, I have to stay here. So
that night at dinner you said, your husband's a legend.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mind, this is what happens. Sometimes guests will come here and it's a beautiful place, like they love it. You know, even it's your second time, right? You loved it.
Yeah.
You shared what you needed to share, and then you were like, oh, I got it all, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. And then you realize, and then I you know, when we were talking, I was just like, it's just your ego playing tricks on you, because you want to go deep, and we'll talk about, you know, the rest of your journey after this. And, you know, you get a little sometimes lonely up here.
Yeah.
And then the mind starts playing tricks. And then when I was like, you're never alone, I'm like, that's your next growth, is learn that you're never, ever alone, right? In stillness. So talk about that first travel ceremony.
Yeah, so I did it with another lady here named Mona. We had like a really good conversation beforehand, and it was all about relationships and marriage and the things that I'm kind of like, I was seeking, and what was affecting my loneliness. And then I went into the tribal ceremony, and it was beautiful. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, which was really, really challenging. But you know, I had people there with me. I had Brian in my ear. I had like a few other teachers that I've had throughout my life help me up, and I started realizing that no, I'm not alone. And to know yourself more, to sit in silence and to really listen to who you are, you realize that you are a part of all this, all these beings, all this universe, everything. And yeah, it's pretty special. It's a very special kind of experience.
Nice, man. That's awesome. And then, of course, all of our conversations, you know, on the farm, you know, we got in some really good ones. You always ask these really great questions after dinner and stuff like that, you know, about, you know, how do you see what's beyond this experience, you know, and how do you feel energy? And that kind of moves us into the second tribal experience, which was here on the farm. So, and that was a tough one. That was a strong one for you, man. But you really grew and you learned some serious stuff. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I had a week gap between these ceremonies, and yeah, that week was really kind of understanding what silence means and really trying to practice it. It's hard. It's really hard. Like I'm down.
It takes work.
Yeah, down in the jungle gym. Like that, I really like that place. It's just encapsulated by jungle, and you can hear all the bugs and everything.
The light rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still struggle with it a bit. You know, it's something that I'm definitely using to move forward with and working on. And in the second tribal ceremony, definitely it came out then. My mind was going like 1,000 miles an hour, I think, and the energy was so strong. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just.
Yeah. You were having multiple, like, ego deaths.
Yeah.
Which is good, man. It's an energetic purge, which is, you know, but that can be really intense for people when that happens.
Yeah, it was over and over again. Just would not quit, like, just different kind of, like, spiritual deaths, and just keep going in and out. And once I kind of died, then I realized that I was out of it. Like, I started seeing a lot of insight into my life, into my future, what it will look like. And then I went back down in the circle again, and it just kept going. And I don't know, I was so exhausted by the time Brian came up and grabbed me up in the yoga platform. But and then I just moved on to the next one. But again, it kept happening and happening. And yeah, I don't think I quite got to the point where I was hoping to get to, but that's right. I got things to work on, which is really good.
Right, and so from that second tribal ceremony, you know, so the first time that you were here on the farm, you really took that forgiveness and you've implemented it. Now, this is the second time. What are you going to implement when you go back?
Yeah, so the last time was definitely all about the heart, all about what unconditional love is, forgiveness, service to others, and living your life through the heart.
Yep.
Now it's
Got
about
that down.
It's about calming the mind and realizing not to overthink things. I'm very analytical.
He's a psychologist.
It's got me to some really cool places.
Sure.
With the analytical mind, and but it causes so much suffering as well. Like, because as soon as something happens and you're trying to analyze it, but you just can't quite get to a source or an answer, you start going off into a million different tangents. When in the end, it doesn't matter.
Right. Seeing things as just energy rather than looping in stories.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That
like,
frees us.
The first tribal ceremony definitely showed me that it doesn't really matter, because in the end, once you make that decision or take that action, things are going to fall into place the way it's supposed to anyway, and you're going to live the life that you're supposed to. And the only way you can really be sure of yourself is by living through the heart and by being silent in the mind, because you get to really know yourself then.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you're on quite a journey, so this is just first step, right? So you came back here to get some tweaks, you know, some biggies.
Yeah.
But what's so good is that you decided to stay, because you're off after the United States. You're going to see some friends, but you're off to Nepal to do a 10-day Vipassana, which is not speaking. The work that you did here is really going to take you into
Yeah. So, again, you know, knowing that I got a new phase of life ahead of me, and it's in Sydney. So Sydney, I don't know how you compare it to America, but I would imagine it would be like similar to New York, you know, the New York of Australia. And so it's a lot of fast pace, a lot of different people, a lot of ego.
fast vibration.
Yeah, so I wanted to be able to be calm and patient in an environment like that. And so the way I'm doing that is by going on this journey. Starting here, next is New York for a few days, and then onto Nepal. I'm doing actually a 21-day Annapurna hike there.
That's awesome.
And then down to New Delhi in India, and then I'm doing a 10-day silent retreat.
Okay, so it's even more so is the hike.
Yeah.
Wow. So a lot of introspection you've got coming up, man.
Yeah, a lot. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the lessons I've learned. I wrote down after the second, got a bit of rain, but it should be all right.
It's all right, man.
Kinda
We're in the
raining on
rain
us.
having a Farm of Life interview, and we're loving it. Feel the rain, Farm of Life family. Enjoy it.
I tell you what, I've never experienced a dry season here, but I love the rain in the wet seasons.
Rainy season's cool. Come on down.
So the 10 lessons I learned from the farm, which I'm going to take with me on the next few months, but also through to the rest of my life. But number 1 was everything will be okay.
Nice.
Number 2, we are all fighting in our own jungle. Number 3, the only thing we truly have is the breath and our emotions. Number 4, live your life through your heart, the ego thinks. Number 5, be still, be silent every single day. Number 6, nature is our greatest therapy. Let it wash away any pain, stress, fear or guilt.
Nice. Even the rain.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to go for a swim after this, so it's all good.
Yeah, right?
7, a man and a woman's bond is deeply sacred and should be respected by each party.
I like that.
This is kind of, I also wrote, this is more masculine, feminine energy, so it's the same for same-sex couples. It depends on what they have.
Sure.
But in this lifetime, it's definitely going to be a girl for me. Number 8.
Oh, yes.
Number 8, we are just energy. If you try to explain it, the ego has won. Just feel. Number 9, move along your path with blind faith. Trust your heart. And number 10, just be you. That is all that you'll ever have, and that is all that you'll ever need. Just be you, and everything is supposed to be.
Authenticity.
And the
I love
truth
it.
will set you free. The truth will set you free.
Amen.
Just be you. Like a Frank Sinatra or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Traveled along. Somebody you.
I feel like that's what I've noticed a lot in the last couple of years is that, you know, people struggle when they fail to remember themselves. And
Yep.
you know, it's so easy to, but you know, quieten the mind, really sit with yourself and be with yourself. You can never forget who you are, and it gives you that courage and that strength to move forward in whatever you need to do. Yeah.
Good realizations, man. Wow. That was quite a 10.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That was
sharing.
quite a 10. And you know, and the next time you come back, man, you're going to have like a little shaman hat on.
Yeah.
Talking with an Indian voice.
That's it.
Third eye,
That'd
little
be
bindi
great.
right here. Ryan, I am now going to run the ceremonies.
I am light.
You'll be like the Buddhist psychologist in Sydney.
Yeah,
Sydney.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so important to have these skills, especially the work that I wanted to do in my life, and I think it's going to help me immensely, but it's also going to help whoever I come into path with. So thank you, Brian, thank you, Jody, for providing such a beautiful farm here. It's really incredible, and I'm excited to come back in however many years that is, but it'll be back sometime soon.
And I know someday you want to do like your own healing center, something similar to this,
Yeah.
using your psychological background, which, you know, we do here all the time, working with people's minds and emotions. And man, I'll be your first client,
Yeah.
first guest, I promise. I'll be
it.
there.
I
I've
need
always
you.
wanted to go down under to see some kangaroos.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of them on my farm, that's for
Cool,
sure.
man. That's awesome. Give me a hug, man. I love you.
Oh, God.
We'll see you, Farmer Life family. Love you.
Bye.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye-bye.